You know it's Thanksgiving in Canada today?
I did hear that, but what does that mean? Like,
I don't know. We have it earlier in October. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nerd Theory podcast uh, with Josh from the Den of Nerds, who you guys all love nowadays, which is great. Um, we got some stuff to talk about today, some fun stuff, some interesting stuff, theories, possible leaks, rumors, this and that. So, Josh, what's going on, man? How was your weekend?
weekend was good, man. My best friend got married. That was awesome. So I got to see a lot of my favorite people in the world. Didn't stream it all this weekend, so just kind of chilled and unplugged. And we're getting ever closer to The Mandalorian. So yeah, man.
We are.
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
I am pretty much halfway through Rebels.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's an amazing show. The
Yeah.
first season was a grind for me because I was just like,
Mm.
but then the final episode of the first season, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And then now we're in season two, and dude, it is beautiful. It is
Yeah.
really, really nice so far. So I'm really excited to keep going. I'm probably gonna binge the crap out of it tonight. And yeah, so
Now, have you made it to the finale of season 2 yet?
no, there. I'm on
Okay.
only
No
episode
spoilers.
5. Yeah.
No spoilers, but it's one of my favorite moments in Star Wars.
Yeah,
It's
I,
incredible.
I
Yeah.
never gave it time because it just the first season for me was I was like, okay, it's just about
Yeah.
I don't know, I was an idiot. So, but
Well, they were
it's
also finding their footing with the show in season 1 too. Like you could kind of tell, like they were, ironing
absolutely,
it out.
yeah. I remember starting this for the first season and I was like, okay, it's nice, but it's just slow for me, and maybe I'll watch it later, and then I just never did. Later became never. Um, yeah, everyone in the chat, much respect to Rebels. Yep, I should have watched it. Um, okay, so today you have an interesting theory regarding the Mandalorian season 2, Palpatine and the Darksaber, and Moff Gideon, um, and some new teases from the future Ezra.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So we can start. We can start with that. Our boy Rahul,
Okay,
teasing once again.
let me find
Uh,
it.
yeah, and at this point, it's kind of. And I was joking with people where I was like, man, if this guy's not Ezra at this point, he's just kind of being like a troll or like kind of a butthole. But I think it's so obvious that not only is he Ezra, but he's really excited about it.
Mhm.
And that's awesome to me. And, the truth is, Disney is very, very hush hush about everything that's happening.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's, so how can we really blame him for, really wanting to get out there and spread the word? I don't.
I'm starting to like this guy more and more as I see his posts because he's just like he's pushing it. So either he's not Ezra and he's really enjoying the publicity that's coming with it, or
Yeah.
he's just a masterful troll and really good at what he's doing. So here's a picture from him where he captions, "I'm currently alone filming a new show and couldn't celebrate the release of Bly Manor with my friends, family, or the Bly cast. So I've treated myself to one can of Coke. Thank you all so much for watching. Your tweets have made me smile. Cheers." And then just sneakily in the background, it's just Ezra Bridger as he's watching Rebels. It's just
Mm-hmm.
he is very, very good at and oh, I didn't even notice Lucasfilm Ltd on his shirt.
Yep.
Come on,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's Ezra.
Uh,
He's
yeah,
Ezra.
I
That's
mean,
it. Like there's
he's
there's
got
no hiding it.
Yeah, he's got to be, and I think it's going to be so cool that he's Ezra. Just it seems like we're going into this new era, and I know one of the things that was kind of unfortunate about the last couple of years is I do feel like the actors were treated unfairly by Disney and by the fans a little bit, but it was sort of this tough situation, and this hopefully Ezra and Rahul sort of represents this new blood, this new class, if you will, this
Yeah.
sort of new group of people that are going to be Lucasfilm live action. And he even made the post, the first day we talked about this, he even made that post that was really positive on Star Wars fans,
Mhm.
while also acknowledging that, yeah, we're a bunch of crazies for real. So
Not all of us, but yeah, I'd say most of us, I guess.
yeah, I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd count myself among the crazies for
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty
shout
cool.
out,
But
shout out to Rahul. I know you were watching the last stream, bro. Why not following back? Why is there no love? Come on. What the
yeah,
hell?
where's the love, man? Where's the love on the follows, Rahul? Although I guess if he did that, wouldn't that be sort of like a confirmation at this point? Then he'd probably get in trouble. For
Hey, he
doing that.
follows Star Wars Explained.
Well, did they do a stream talking about him being Ezra though? You
I don't
what
know,
mean?
bro.
So
I don't
baby.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where's the love, baby?
Where's the
Okay,
love?
next news we got going on is something you sent on Reddit.
Yes. So there's a new spot out there for the trailer. Now, what's really funny about this is some dude on Reddit, like 3 days ago, said he like made this post and he was like, "I swear to God, I saw this new Mandalorian trailer with new footage," and everybody on Reddit was like, "Liar, liar,"
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like nobody could find it anywhere. Well, this has finally been released on social media. There's not a lot of new stuff to it, but there is an interesting shot in which some people believe the canister. We sort of talked about the canister. I think it was
We
last
did,
week.
yeah. The baby with Baby
Yeah, the
Yoda. Yeah.
little this little baby Yoda toy with the canister, and we don't really know what's going on with that. Well, it looks like this was something that was in the original trailer when they're in the seaport, probably on Mon Cala.
Mhm.
And so we see in the new trailer that it appears as though Din Djarin himself has slung over his shoulder one of those very egg containers. So while we have no idea what this actually is going to mean for the show, it is kind of a cool little hint that something is going on with these eggs and the baby and maybe presumably the myth or the what are they called, the those blue guys.
The blue guys.
Yeah, because it's not the
What blue guys?
it's the dude in the very first episode of Mando when he has that bounty, whatever
Mm-hmm.
species that dude
Oh, here
is.
we go. Chat. I lost chat for a little bit. There was a lag. Are we good? We rolling? Maybe it's
I
just on
think
my end.
I'll check it out. I think we're good
All right, cool. Okay, sorry.
though. Yeah, that's so that's just a little thing, nothing too crazy there. But it is something that people are talking about. The myth roll, that's the species, the
Okay,
myth roll, those little bluefish people.
right. The guy who he
So
captured in the beginning.
correct, yes, and who knows? There could be a tie there because technically he was supposed to take him to Mon Cala in that episode as well. So who knows? Maybe that will
Yeah, I'm pretty
play
sure
out.
they're on Mon Cala. But as for those eggs, maybe they're Baby Yodas.
Well, they could be Baby Yodas. That would be pretty crazy. And
Yeah.
I would love to see like an army or like a family of little Baby Yodas. I bet they're probably some young that he's going to get wrapped into helping or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I
something
say
like
that
that.
because he's a frog-looking creature. So I
Mm,
mean, he's obviously reptilian of nature, and well, he's coming from an egg, I suppose.
sure,
So
sure. Well, my theory, and we'll talk about this when we get into the Gideon stuff, is that this baby is a clone. Um,
yeah,
and so in that case, like I don't think he probably came out of an egg, but that doesn't mean those couldn't be little baby Yodas. So
yeah,
that could
yeah,
absolutely
and
happen.
and he was born around the same time as Anakin Skywalker was.
Yes, exactly,
So
which is pretty interesting,
it
right?
is weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I would have liked to have seen or gotten more backstory on was in episode 2. Yoda says that he's going to go to this cloning facility. He tells Mace Windu that. What the heck happened there?
Yeah.
Like, did
That's a
they
that's a great point.
take a seat, Master Yoda? Just like pluck a little hair. Oh,
A
we're gonna
hundred
clone you now.
percent. Well, I think you actually had talked about this around the time of the first season, and there's obviously that patch right on the Doctor
Yeah.
Pershing's arm,
Yep.
and that's a Camino patch, and so this is part of the confusion as to what is going on with this process. But that
Yeah.
actually kind of takes me into my theory. So I'll just kind of talk about some of these things that happen,
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring up a couple of different things that Giancarlo Esposito has said in interviews in the past 6 to 9 months. Okay, so
He's
there was
leaked
an
a lot of
interview.
stuff, man.
He has done way more than
Yeah.
Lucasfilm, which kind of reminds you of another person that we just talked about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he spoke to Entertainment Weekly, and this article is from a couple of months ago, and he was asked about hints to come in season 2, and he said this. He said, "Having the saber means I could use it and do my own dirty work. That I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. That's part of me. It also creates the possibility that he is one of the ones. He possibly has that. To me, this is interesting because is he really that fallen hero? Is he a descendant of Darth Vader? Who is he? What does he want? He knows all about everything, and you will have to wait to find out. He's actually pretty good with the Darksaber. Okay, so that's pretty crazy in and of itself, right?
Okay, so seeing that quote, it doesn't seem like he's talking about the wills as the ones. It seems like he's talking about being a force user to
Correct.
me.
Correct. Yes, I
Okay.
agree with that. I
Okay.
agree with that. Now, here's something else that he added, and I believe this was around the same time. Let me double check. This was from July. So yeah, around the same time.
Okay.
So he says here you'll see more of the dark saber. You'll get the explanation of this ancient weapon to the modern world, a collapsed world, Esposito said. Where did this saber come from and how was it revived? It's a key in our second season, which will be back sooner than later. He goes on to say the saber is a key to Moff Gideon's past, which possibly has a lot to do with where he comes from and his desire to build a planet and bring it back together. So to me, that's like some crazy talk. Like
Leaked a whole bunch of stuff. So he's basically a descendant of Tar, Vizsla, and he wants to bring Mandalore back to what it used to be.
100%. So that's exactly where my brain went to. I was like, okay, so the fact that he mentions the planet and bringing it back together clearly means this must be a connection to Tar Vizsla. So what I think is happening, and this is how I think this is all going to tie together, is that I think that Gideon was possibly a secret apprentice of Palpatine's. He was someone that comes from the line of Vizsla. He was somebody that had, like, he might actually be ancient Mandalorian. You know, he might actually have ancient Mandalorian in his blood. And I
That's what it
think,
sounds like, yeah.
right. So I think what Palpatine was doing was because we don't actually know a lot. Like in Rebels, there's a lot of like Mandalorian stuff that's touched on, but for the most part, in like the canon of the original trilogy, like Mandalore does not play a big role. Like we never really hear about Mandalore. We never really see them
Right.
represented in any battle.
Right.
So my thing was, what if he's keeping this apprentice? Because I think clearly Gideon is associated with the ISB, so the internal or the Imperial Security Bureau, which you know is touched on with Cal Kestis and his story, you know,
Yeah.
and they're the with all the Inquisitors, right?
Right.
So I think he's going to have that kind of a connection, but he's also a Moff.
I was like trying to
You know
figure out
what I
what
mean?
with the I'm like Harry Potter?
Yeah, I wish I had my Darksaber. Dude. I was like, but
Oh, you have one?
yeah, dude, I got a Darksaber. It's sweet. I'll grab it in a second.
Okay.
But so I think what because he's also a Moff, that clearly means that like just like Dooku, Palpatine values people that not only have power in the sense of the Force, but they have power in the sense of their family name, their bloodline, like how they are powerful on a particular world or system. Right. This is all stuff that's very important to him because
Yeah.
he's a politician. He understands this world.
Yeah.
So I think Moff is a known descendant of Vizsla that was brought in at a very early age, much like in the book in the Aftermath series. There's that character that everybody thought Snoke was for a long, long time. I forget his name, but
Oh,
essentially,
Gallius Rax.
yes,
Yeah.
Gallius. So it's essentially that similar thing where like you see Gallius as a boy, like
Mm-hmm.
see Sheev come to that planet and Jakku, and he's like, what the shit? And then like he's sort of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
gets taken in by all that. I would say Palpatine likely recruited Gideon at a very early age and had Mandalore, because Mandalore was imperially occupied for like the whole war. And I think what happened was there was a lot of Imperial stuff going down on Mandalore, which was probably why it was kept out of the focus. You know, this is kind of a retcon idea, but you could play around with the idea that it was kept out of the focus because Palpatine's contingency plan was in part going down with that. And when I think it comes to the baby, I think the baby is a clone, but if we know anything about Force clones after the Rise of Skywalker, it's that they're very difficult to pull off, which is something that was true in the EU as well, right?
Yeah.
It was very hard. So that's probably why Gideon says you think you know what you have, but you don't. You know what I mean? And so I think the baby is connected to Palpatine's contingency plan, and maybe even Kamino and Mandalore are like secret havens of the Imperial remnants. Because remember, Kamino is not in the Republic record.
Mhm.
Nobody knows that place exists.
Yeah.
So maybe that place in Mandalore sort of are this last pocket or this vestige of Imperial remnants that are trying to enact Palpatine's plan.
Yeah,
Which is because they've said there could be a connection to the sequel trilogy. So
I agree.
that's kind of the theory,
To
basically.
connect it even further, so I always thought that, okay, Baby Yoda is obviously just another vessel for Palpatine to transfer into, blah, blah, blah. He loves that he can be super old and this and that, and can hold the Force power abilities.
That's a great point because Yoda's species can live so much longer than a human species. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And he knows that that species is capable of holding the Force to that level. It won't just deteriorate or whatever. You know, it shoots lightning. It's not going to frickin' burst into flames.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot where this was written, but Snoke apparently had another apprentice next to Kylo.
Yes.
But we
That is
never
him.
get to know anything about this guy or
We never
girl.
know anything about that. But yes, that was established in the Last Jedi novelization,
Right.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a preface of
Maybe
something.
it was The Force Awakens, actually.
Like a yeah, it was a preface of some book I remember reading, and it was like these like thin columns of text, and it was like Snoke's former had another apprentice or something, and we never hear about this guy.
Mm.
Do you think it could be Moff?
Dude, that would be incredible. But does that work in the
He'd be
timing?
old.
Yeah, Moff would be. I think this is what this. I think this is what it is. I think Moff is going to get taken out by, well, basically probably by
Luke?
Bo-Katan. No, I don't think Luke's going to have anything to do with this.
He
Luke's
won't be
gonna
in the Mando.
doing- I don't think so. I mean,
Where is he? Where are the trio at this time?
look, I agree that that is ripe for the picking, but I think the strategy for Lucasfilm is to maybe like, if they do that, it's going to be like a little thing, like barely.
Differentiate.
Well, just because they want
Keep
a
Luke
distance.
out of it.
They're
Yeah.
trying to distance from the sequel trilogy. You know what I mean? The last thing they want is, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing, and people be like, "Oh, you did it so great here. Why couldn't you do
I
this?"
disagree.
You know?
They could. Well, they could make it right though. They could change things
could.
around by really, giving us what was supposed to happen. In
Yeah.
my mind, in your mind, a lot of fans' minds, in Mark Hamill's mind,
Yeah.
and so many people at Lucasfilm who have that same continuity of George Lucas's story. They could do that in The Mandalorian, season 3, 4, 5, whatever.
That's true. That's true. They could absolutely do it, and they might. I mean, we don't know for sure, but my gut tells me what they're trying to do is create sort of another big story that was happening that basically most of the galaxy knew nothing about. So essentially, maybe even the reason that Palpatine's contingency was so like well hidden and nobody really knew about it was because maybe like the Mandalorian, the crew of the Ghost, and Ahsoka and some of these other characters help squash that plan from coming to fruition. You know, so and then it's possible that Baby Yoda. I thought about this as kind of a weird tangent idea, but do you think it's possible that the baby could be another Force birth? Because in Plagueis, in the novel,
Oh.
there's this idea that like they were messing around and then the Force pushed back
Yeah.
to create Anakin. They didn't actually create Anakin, but the Force sort of did,
I
pushing
don't-
back.
I don't think they're gonna do that because then you're gonna have two.
Yeah,
You have Anakin. It's just like, how many more are we gonna make?
sure, that's a good point. Yeah, so just to keep the one, the thing.
What if Baby Yoda is not a clone and they're trying to clone him?
Could be. It certainly could be, but then they're extracting material from him. That's the thing that's weird. So maybe, yeah, they could be extracting the material to try to clone him, maybe. But the thing is, the only thing that doesn't make sense about that is that Gideon really wants the child. Like, he really wants the child. He literally killed his own men to get it, and try to make a point.
I'm trying to think here. It's like, what is so great about this kid? So it's the only thing I think of is that the Emperor wants to use him maybe for tissue because in the episode 9 book they were splicing genes, they were doing this and that to create Snoke. So Snoke wasn't even apparently a species of his own thing. He was just some lab created mutation.
Yeah, I just read about that. He's actually made on Exegol, apparently.
Yeah. So it's like,
Maybe Baby Yoda's material is what ends up making Snoke. How would you feel about that?
yeah, maybe. But then also what confuses me that I was like running off this for 2 years with the Last Jedi visual dictionary was Snoke's ring is inscribed with the Dwarti.
Yeah.
And which, if you guys don't know, the Dwarti were those golden statues in Revenge of the Sith in Palpatine's office, which he got from Plagueis. they're very ancient beings, and
Yeah, there were
the
four philosophers that helped create the modern, what we know as the Republic, apparently.
right. And so
Yeah.
the ring that the got was what the gold was made out of and inscribed on, and then the ring itself was black obsidian from below Vader's castle.
Yes.
So it's like,
Why?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So it could have just been just some cool shit that they wanted to do, right? But it could be that because the Dwarti are seen again in Episode 9. Those when Kylo is on Exegol
hmm
and he's coming down, a lot of people thought those were Sith statues. Those are the Dwarti. So they apparently have some significance to the Sith that they're a big enough deal to be.
I didn't even think of that. You might be right, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's some. I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere where they were like, yeah, that's the Dwarti. So maybe the Dwarti were like secret Sith, which is kind of implied. I mean, otherwise, why would Plagueis? Isn't there at least one of them that they thought was Sith or something?
I'm trying to find pictures here. I thought they were Sith. Yeah, it could have been Sistros and. Oh, is there a picture here? No, I can't find it. But that's
We can
actually a
look
really
into
good
that
theory.
later, but
I
yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, and again, because I think they are going to tie the High Republic to this, is that I think they are going to show that sort of the Sith always had an influence on what was going on in the Republic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Big
which would
shout
be
out
cool.
to Blender Bottle, by the way.
Dude, that
Sending
looks
me this.
nice.
Yeah, they sent me this. It was pretty cool. Um, what?
But yeah, that's basically the theory, my man. Like, what would you? I mean, I personally, if they do something like that, I will freak out because I think that is
You
fantastic.
think we're gonna ever get a touch on what George Lucas wanted for the sequels with the midi-chlorians and the Wills? Or no, it's dead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, with George at the helm, or sorry, with Dave at the helm, you never really know because there's certainly the ability for him to work that in.
Mhm.
Um, it would really depend. The one thing I always go back to with the Wills is that there was a rumor, the pretty substantiated rumor, that there's going to be these Sith gods in the High Republic at one point. And so the High Republic's going to deal with these like Sith gods. And if they're like
Interesting.
Sith gods, like of course there would be, I mean, there's the Mortis gods. That's already been, pretty
Yeah,
established.
sure.
So I mean, the Wills are just kind of a leap away from that. So, and especially, I think the best shot at the Wills actually being incorporated does have to do with Ahsoka,
Mhm.
because I think she's kind of beyond Jedi at this point. You know what I mean? She's like a Gandalf-like character.
She is. She's like Gandalf the White at this point. Yeah,
So she could be the envy.
but I feel like she's above Luke Skywalker because she, in my opinion, knows more. She's
Yeah.
trained with the greats, the originals, with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda. She was around the Jedi Council. She would know more than Luke Skywalker. She's seen more.
Yeah.
If she's more powerful, I don't think so, but I think
Well,
she
that's
could
sort
be a
of an
mentor to
interesting.
him.
Yeah, well, I would love to see them interact because I think, especially at that time, Luke is really at one with the Force, like
Yeah.
in a ridiculous way that like she would have to sense.
But
like
you know what actually they could do, which would I just thought of that would really bug me is if they tried to cater his character towards building up to the Last Jedi,
right? Yeah, that's very
so
possible.
that it all makes sense. I
Right,
wouldn't want
which
that.
is that's part of the reason why I think they might stay away from it, to be honest with you, is because like in order for it to canonically make sense, like depending on the timing, they would have to start to turn him that way. Now, from my understanding, Luke was really not interested in rebuilding the Jedi at all, and he was just like going around being Indiana Jones. And at one point, when Ben is born, he decides to rebuild the Jedi specifically for Ben. He was not going to rebuild the Jedi until Ben came along, from what I
This
understand.
is
in
new canon,
Yeah, this is new canon. Yeah,
yeah.
and I forget where this.
Right? The finding of the Sith artifacts and stuff throughout
Yeah,
the
yeah.
galaxy.
He's
and-
just being Indiana Jones. Like he's just looking for stuff and trying to understand the mystery, which
Be a
is
cool
where he
show.
ends up. Yeah, it would be dope, dude. It'd be incredible. And he actually does run into Snoke, right? At one point, it's in the comics. I
yeah,
think,
it beats
where
him up. Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. So he was doing his thing, and Snoke actually has a interesting chapter in the Last Jedi novelization where he remembers his time meeting Skywalker and stuff. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, if they're gonna do the Wills, I think that Ahsoka is the best way to get there, especially because it's possible that if they do the Filoni verse it becomes this thing, then if there's a big force invading like the Grisk that replaces the Vong, that would be a threat to the cosmic force itself, which could make the Wills maybe like step up or do something else. You know what I mean? Like the Force
Yeah.
Priestesses did with Yoda. So
Yeah.
uh, that would be cool. I'd be into that.
Could play with that idea. How would it all connect with the Obi-Wan show, you think? You think we're going to see some stuff that's like a multiverse?
I don't think they're going to go multiverse, but I think they are going to get pretty tight with the canon.
Sorry,
So
not multiverse. Cinematic universe.
yes, that I think they'll do. But I think Obi-Wan, they're really interested in going back and showing Clone Wars stuff, and like that show's going to be fan service through the roof. Like that's going to be, I mean, seeing Hayden in the Clone Wars armor is
I
going to
heard
be
that we're actually going to get that. Yeah.
that's the word, and that is like what?
Yeah.
And we can thank Kevin Feige for it, but you didn't hear that from me.
Yeah, that'd be great. I love fan service, but if it's done right, I don't want fan service just for fan service.
Totally
You know,
agree.
it's like in Cobra Kai, I don't want all the characters to come back just for the sake of coming back. It makes the universe smaller, this and that. I want them to come back for a particular set of reasons that would make sense to the story. So the same thing goes here. If we get Anakin coming back in Clone Wars armor in live action with Hayden,
Dude, like
die
I
a
will
happy
just
fan.
I know, right? Like yeah, that would be absolutely wild. So there's the hoping that's
yeah, I
that's
think
what
that'll
they
happen.
do.
I think they know what they need to do. Do what must be done,
Yeah, dude.
and that'll be it. I think it's going to be a bright future for Star Wars. I hope. I've always been a hopeful person.
Yeah.
After Daisy Ridley revealed that stuff about the sequels, there was no more of me trying to be hopeful, trying to see the good and everything. Blah blah blah. I just saw it as what it was, and I was like, okay, well,
Yep.
they dropped the ball.
Big
So,
time.
but I think with Kevin Feige, as you said, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, these like-minded people who are continuing the story of George Lucas and creating new stories with that in mind, I don't see how it could go wrong. I really don't.
Yeah, man. I
'Cause
mean, they've got
you
yeah.
have fans creating this stuff now, so that's when it's legit. Not just like casual weekend fans or people who don't do their homework for Star Wars. You have actual historians, which is great. I think
Yeah,
it's
man.
gonna
I
be
mean,
great.
you've got the apprentice of the creator. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like you got to leverage that. You got to utilize that. And yeah, I just continue to think it really. I had some conversations earlier this year, um, and just some of the people I talked to, it was very clear that like they were just trying to express to me that like, look, Disney knows that they made mistakes, and they know that they screwed up this and this. Now they're never going to come out and admit it. They will never, that's just not their style. That's not their brand to come out and be like, hey, we didn't do this and this.
It would be
But
great. I think that's
it would be incredible.
something that would make them even more huge, because then they're real people. They're not just this organization. Which I get it. You've been doing your thing forever, and I mean, what do I know? I'm just a fan who has a YouTube channel. But it's like, I really think, especially in today's time, if you have a company that comes across as human and relatable to all of us, then you're going to be huge. You're going to be very, very loved and welcomed. So, I mean, if they came out with a statement like Bob Iger comes, look, we understand that there were some issues and discrepancies with the sequel trilogy. We're doing our best to rectify that and go forwards and not just listen to the fans, but also honor the story of George Lucas, which is something that we haven't really done all that much. And we're going to be better. It's like just a freaking 30-second clip of that. Holy crap. Just
Absolutely,
watch
dude.
the stocks of Disney just... It's
No,
very
I
simple.
know. Well, I agree. Like, I think that it would really behoove them to sort of do that. There was a thing said by, I'm trying to find it right now. There was a thing that Jon Favreau said earlier in the year that sort of spoke to this. It was
Oh, he did?
yeah. He said he was talking about like the relationship with the fans.
Oh, cool.
Come from
I think I remember something like that, but
Yeah. Excited we're doing it. Appreciate that's as good as it gets for us. Yeah. I wish I could find the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of like, um, you've got to listen to the fans. You know what I mean? And we're in this together, and it's like a copacetic thing. And it was just like one of those moments where I was like, man, oh, here we go. Let me see if I can find it here. I got it.
Oh, I like that possible title for your guys' stream: Theories Den or Den of Theories.
Who came up with that?
Ditcher's Universe. I think I like that more than Nerd Theory. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I'm into it.
They're both
I'm into
good.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what he says. He said, you put something out into the world and then it echoes back at you. You have to listen. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. You have to feel the energy of the audience. But when you come from comedy, and when I was doing improv back in Chicago, that's it. You have to read the room. You have to feel the room. You have to be in community with the audience. You have to be a part of it. The fact of the matter is, as much as we love working on Star Wars, we love even more making Star Wars for other people. And when other people are excited by it and dig what we're doing and are appreciative, that's as good as it gets for us. So the one-way street, two-way street thing, I mean, the guy is speaking my language. You know what I mean? I think that's as close as we'll probably get, man.
I agree.
The
And
apology.
I'm very hopeful going forwards with what's going to happen. Not of the past, because I don't think I can let it die, but I can just move forwards.
Yeah. Yep. Which I think is the appropriate way to do it, you know?
Logan says the fact that there's a legitimate possibility of seeing Boba in season 2 of The Mando is enough to get me more than hyped. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a really nice tie-in to see how he survived and tie into the story.
Absolutely.
It's going to be neat.
Big Boba fan myself, so pretty excited for it.
There was oh yeah, well, never mind, we can't talk about that, you said. So yeah, what else we got going on?
So here's another random thing that I'll throw at you. So there was a little announcement made by Disney today about the future of the company, and they have put Disney Plus at the center of everything. And
Right.
So we're waiting to know exactly what that means. And to be honest with you, I haven't dug into the full article. Apparently there's several really good ones out there about what it means, but what people have told me is that basically they realize that Disney Plus is the future, and they are putting all of their eggs, well, at least most of their eggs, into that basket. And the reason I wanted to bring this up was because when the Filoniverse stuff started coming my way, I was like, what is this? Why are they doing all of this on Disney Plus? This sounds great. It sounds too good to be true, to be honest with you. It still does, you know? So I was like, so they're going to do this connected universe with all these different shows on Disney Plus. I was like, that seems like a lot of Disney Plus. And now, with an announcement like this, and I was sort of telling you this off air, but we now have the official dates of when the episodes will air.
Right.
And what's interesting to me is that I believe there's now going to be a big announcement made by Disney on an investor call where they will be explaining exactly what they mean from today. And that investor call, I believe, happens December 10th, I believe, which is like right before an episode of The Mandalorian, but it is right after the Filoniverse episode. So the weekend of Thanksgiving, I believe it's the 27th of November. This weekend is going to be very big because the rumors are now that not only will we get the Filoniverse episode of The Mandalorian season 2, where you'll see Ahsoka, probably Ezra, so Rahul can actually finally,
they come in there.
all talk. Right. And we're going to see all this wild stuff. People are going to be like, holy crap, this is ridiculous. And then they're also going to drop WandaVision. And then they're going to turn around and have all these massive Disney Plus numbers because all that stuff's going to blow up.
Yeah.
And then they'll talk about that on the investor call. And essentially, it really just looks like, to me, their future focus is more Disney Plus than even theatrical releases.
100%. Especially with everything going on.
Yeah, well, what do you think about that?
I think it's true. I think from here on, they're just going to pile on the shows. And everyone's going to have to subscribe to Disney Plus at whatever, $7-10 a month. And they're going to make astronomical amounts of money, and we're going to get some cool shows.
Yeah.
So we got the
Now, are
Bad
you
Batch coming. We got Obi
are you
Wan.
bummed though that it won't be in theaters?
No, I'm an introvert, so I love just chilling at home. But you know what? There is a fun like I remember with episode 9, me and my boys, we got dressed up in Jedi robes. I brought the robes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
brought the sabers. We went to the theater. We were just, we got our popcorn, our drinks. It was an event and it was fun.
Yes.
It was really fun. Um, so it's sad to see that go a little bit. But that being said, I mean, you can just have those people over at your home, sort of. It's just not the same experience.
Yeah.
But I'm
I don't
down
know.
with it. I think, yeah,
I'm torn, dude. I'm
I
torn.
am. I love going to movies, but with everything going on, it's like I'm not going to go to movies. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like the proof is in the pudding. Like we
yeah,
can clearly see that, and there's also just possibilities of this situation sort of lingering for way longer than any of us want to think about or consider right now.
hmm
But they got to think about making money, right? And it's just obvious that this is the way to do it. And even before this news came out, there was a couple of stories that sort of hinted at this, where Kevin Feige was given the directive to go all in on Disney Plus. And I wouldn't be surprised if like things we never thought would come to Disney Plus, like the X-Men or the Fantastic Four,
yes,
that it is completely possible that major IP like that will be serviced on Disney Plus. And Star Wars is, hands down one of the biggest IPs they have. And they got so lucky that The Mandalorian, before any of this craziness happened, galvanized a digital audience for that show. I mean, it's absolutely massive.
hmm
So they're sitting pretty in that regard. So it makes sense that they would just go all in on it. And again, it just makes the Filoniverse stuff make all the more sense now when you think about it, because I was like really scratching my head, dude. I was like, this is a lot of production.
yeah,
Like a Boba Fett show on Disney Plus, an Ezra and Thrawn show.
yeah,
Like, but that could be a trilogy of movies.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, in their first quarter, didn't Bob Iger say they had like 30 million subscribers or something like that?
I think they're climbing towards 60 at this
They're
point.
probably at 60 now. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
And once season 2 comes out of the Mando, they're probably going to be like, I don't know,
Yeah.
probably 100.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and then they're going to drop that WandaVision. Apparently, WandaVision is mind-blowing, dude. Apparently, it is mind-blowing. So that's going to be huge for their audiences. Soul is now coming out completely for free
Yeah.
on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
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 It's going to go head-to-head with Wonder Woman. So, yeah, I mean, the future is happening at an accelerated rate, and Disney Plus might be the spot for Star Wars. But like you said, I mean, it is the other thing that's really cool about it is we'll be able to like watch with our communities and sort of do more breakdowns right away.
It'll be fun. But
For us, it's a dream come true in some ways, dude. Like
as a
for
content creator, yeah, it's great, dude.
yeah, it's amazing. It's like almost too good to be true.
Agent 47 says nerds 50 times. Yes, we are. And
Yeah.
proud, baby.
Yeah, definitely not ashamed of that.
Nope. Nope. It's a good time to be a nerd.
It really is. I think the nerds have won.
Yeah, dude.
When I saw Robert Redford say "Hail Hydra" in a Marvel film, I was like, "Yeah, the nerds won. We won."
win. Man, we've been winning. People just they're afraid of our power.
True.
What's up, Theory? It's Ched from last night. Hope you're having a great day, as well as Josh. Can I get a because of Obi-Wan? Because you are the most level-headed, genuine YouTuber with Star Wars content. Looking forward to more animation. So thanks, dude. Some
Yeah,
would say
love
otherwise,
that
but I
animation.
appreciate that.
I really liked your episode 9 Trevorrow script animation. And the thing was crazy. I was really critical of that script when it first came out, but the way you did that scene, I was like, "Oh, I kind of get this now." I was like, "Oh, okay, I kind of get that."
Big
So,
shout
yeah,
out to
good-
Benny Productions. And I will say, for all you here, that Colin Trevorrow did DM me regarding that. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know you were going to let him know that.
I'm not going to show it because, just out of respect for him, and I don't want to turn it into a thing or anything. But yeah, I will say that he did.
It's
DM
already
me.
going to turn into a thing. It's going to be all over Reddit now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so I will say that I'm going to make another one. That's all I'm going to say. Logan Still, thank you. Razorcrest says I'm excited and also worried all of these characters, but will their voices be the same as the animation considering Ashley played Ahsoka in Rise of Skywalker? I would hope so. I don't think it's gonna be her voice.
Nope, 100%
Sadly,
not.
yeah. So
100% not.
there,
Yeah.
just like Hayden Christensen's voice isn't Matt Lanter's for Clone Wars, and Ewan McGregor isn't James Arnold Taylor. It's gonna be totally different.
Yeah, and it just kind of is what it is. I mean, shit, I've got a Jedi holocron that has Mace Windu's voice, and that ain't Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I mean? From Galaxy's Edge. So
Do you have it with you?
yeah, I'll grab it. Give me 1 second.
All right. Is that a Dio in the corner? Looks like Dio down there. My buddy thinks the Mandalorian refers to Baby Yoda when he grows up. Tell me how crazy he is so I can sleep in peace. You know. Because Baby Yoda's after Yoda dies.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
In negotiations, there are gray areas.
Oh, yeah. That's,
In war,
Yeah,
there are
it's
not.
not Sam,
no.
A warrior
but it's
can
Mace. Like I
defeat
accept it. You know what I mean?
There's only right and wrong.
So I mean, hey,
Good and
at some
evil,
point that's just gonna happen.
light and dark.
All right.
Yeah.
Victory.
Is that Dio in the corner?
No, that's my custom droid that I made
Oh, a Galaxy.
at Galaxy's
Oh,
Edge.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Neat. What if Yoda secretly took Sifo Dyas's visions of the future seriously and cloned himself as a failsafe just in case he was... What?
I would love that, dude. I would. But right?
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
What if Yoda cloned himself as a failsafe?
Yeah.
But no, he would have had to have done that before he even knew of Kamino, so no.
Yeah, fair.
Because Baby Yoda was so here's what I think. In the Aftermath novel, how Palpatine goes to Jakku and creates that base that's like top
Yes.
secret.
Yes.
This is probably where it begins, because that's right
Yeah.
around the time that Baby Yoda was created. So
Yeah, like the observatory or whatever, right?
something, I don't know, whatever that thing is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's heavily
That would
guarded.
I just
Yeah.
really want him to be, and I think that, like, just from what we read from those quotes, like he's going to be force sensitive at the very least, which is going to be fantastic. But I still think Bo-Katan will probably get him. Moff Gideon.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain just keeps going back to that. Just want to see it.
Yeah, I'm thinking too. It's like, how is he going to use his force powers? Why didn't he use them before?
Well, if you watch that battle again, he kind of does, because he like sees Mando and he like comes out like real nonchalant in the middle of a firefight, and then just points his gun down and blasts that thing and blows him up. So like I don't know, like he was way too cocky in that fight for me. I was like, what? So I could almost feel it then.
And his flying reflexes and
Yeah. So he's clearly, yeah, I think we're going to see it, man. Plus, he said that he broke 3 different Darksabers fighting.
yeah,
Like the
in practicing.
props.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
my man's was going hard, dude.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Did anyone hear what Josh said? Gideon could be a descendant of Vader. Oh, right. Yeah. No, I think he meant like, could he be? What was the quote again? He was like, could he be
So
like Vader?
No, he actually did say, is he a descendant of Vader? But I think, like,
He means
he's
like
clearly-
like Force users.
right. He's basically just saying that if he is force sensitive, it opens up all these incredible opportunities. But he says in the next breath, and this is what's crazy, he says he knows all about everything, and you will have to wait to find out. Which again, to me, points to like him being a part of ISB, him knowing Palpatine's plan, him knowing about the Inquisitori, because Vader did run the Inquisitors for a long time. So maybe that's what he's kind of getting at there.
How old is he?
That is a
50?
great question. I don't know. Maybe.
45?
Yeah, maybe.
40? 40, 45?
Yeah, he's got to be. I would say he's at least 40, probably. But yeah, I don't know for sure.
Okay, so that means he's seen the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's. I think he lived through the Clone Wars. Yeah, he was probably a boy. Could even be like around Din Djarin's age. And if he's
Do you
true,
think he was on
Mandalorian-
Mandalore?
Well, I think probably what happened was Palpatine got him off of Mandalore at a very young age. if he was ever really like on it, you know what I mean? And just brought him in. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they figure all that out. But the fact that he says, what does he say?
Maybe he was royalty on the planet.
Right, exactly. Because he's a Moff. You know what I mean? So
The Gideons. I don't know.
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Also, we find out where Din Djarin was born. I gotta find that post. It was actually posted on Instagram from, I think it was Sideshow.
Okay.
Let me
Oh
see if I can
yeah,
pull it
the
up.
name of the
The
Hot
planet.
Toys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
it was
planet.
Hot Toys.
Yeah, it was called, the settlement was called Akventna, Fatina.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't
'cause that's
find
when
it now.
they rescued him. I can send you this link if you want.
Yeah, I wanted to find the actual post. It was
This is the Reddit, but I think it'll take you to the IG post. Which, I mean, these Hot Toys look so nice.
there it
man.
is.
I would love
Yeah,
to
they
have.
look neat for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, Death Watch the Mandalorian. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, god damn it! It opens the picture. It doesn't open the actual.
Oh, for real, that sucks.
On the settlement of Akvitina, the young Din Djarin was under attack by super battle droids, but before. No, wait. It explains somewhere.
See if I can try to find.
Hot Toys collectibles. Okay, I'll find it on there. Let's see. Hot Toys.
All right, I think I found it. Yeah, a group of Death Watch Mandalorians arrived to take out the droid and rescue Din. With a new season of the highly anticipated Mandalorian debuting, Hot Toys is delighted to expand the Mandalorian collection further, introducing these 1/6 scale Death Watch Mandalorian collectibles. Yeah, so that's where he's from. I don't know. Has that
Here it
planet
is.
come up in any canon material?
Not that I know of.
Let's see. Akvedo was a settlement during the Clone Wars. Confederacy of Independent Systems attacked. Okay, so it looks like they literally.
But was that
Yeah.
where he was living? Is that the planet? Akvitina?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. There's not much in here from
Yeah.
on the Wikipedia about it, so
Yeah, and Wikipedia is it's like Wikipedia. So you never know.
yeah, for sure.
Something I've been wanting to do is actually make every single Wikipedia article into a video.
Dude, what? That'd be nuts. That'd
Yeah.
take a hot minute.
Well, the thing is like I don't know how accurate it is though. I mean, most of it's pretty accurate, but there's some that's
Right.
just like trash.
Yep, I agree. It's that same. Doesn't Wikipedia have a similar problem where like anybody can edit, and then you can catch it
Yeah.
when it's like misedited or
Does
whatever?
Star Wars own it now? I think they bought it, didn't they?
Did they?
No.
I don't know. They could have. They
I don't know.
could have. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean-
Esposito's character is 60. Oh, you just put it at 60. Oh, okay, so it's not official. I see. YouTube is going to be fantastic when season 2 starts. Yeah, man, a few more weeks. But
Yeah, dude.
less than 20 days.
We're getting close.
Almost 2 weeks.
Do you think they'll do another trailer?
Yeah. Of course.
You think they're going to show Ahsoka before the?
No.
They're just going to make all the people.
It
that
might
talk
be
about
a little tease. We might get like a little
like the saber light up or something.
like how we did in episode 9 with Rey holding the lightsaber at her hand.
Mm.
The view of the lower view of her hand igniting the
Right.
Anakin saber. Maybe we'll get something like that. I could see that.
Yeah, I'd be into that, dude. I mean, yeah, look, it's going to create content either way, like as we head towards it. I wonder if anything else is going to come out though, because I think almost all of the juicy stuff, except for like the ending and stuff, has come out as far as like the Filoniverse stuff and.
Any word on the Bad Batch?
No, but I haven't really reached out to anybody and talked about it. The last I heard, there was just figures that were spoiled for it, so they've got like those figures going on. Who knows? Maybe they'll talk about that in that big Disney Plus thing.
Right. When's that?
December 10th, I believe. Let me double check that.
Okay. A couple months.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Thrawn Ascendancy talks about needing a young Force user to be able to navigate in the unknown regions. Right. The originals were called Skywalkers. Perhaps it's to find Sheev or Thrawn.
That's kind of a cool idea, but the Skywalkers, the reason is because that's how they navigated. They the space out in the unknown regions, and this is sort of explained in episode 9 too. It's like really hard to get to Exegol. Like you basically need to follow this ridiculous route to get there, which is what Kylo finds.
Had to do, yeah.
Right.
With the Wayfinder. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really hard to navigate out there, and it just so happens that the Skywalkers, who are mostly female actually, the Chiss, when they're young, they have Force sensitivity, and the females hold onto their Force sensitivity longer than the males.
Until about 20 or 22 or something like that.
Yeah. So then they just are the way they navigate out there.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of cool how they were called Skywalkers. They were like the first actual Skywalker.
Yeah, it's wild, which is why probably Thrawn was so curious when he first met Anakin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, what?
Yeah.
How'd you get that name?
Right.
Luke could show up. 789 don't exist no more. Ryan Canfield says, maybe Baby Yoda is the last living of Yoda's species, and the eggs are others of his species he has to save for the population to come back. Yeah, or they're clones of him.
Whoa.
I will die on the Luke will cameo as a hologram talking with Ahsoka Hill. Lol.
Hey, look, that's a great hill to die on.
Yeah, dude, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. The child is Yadal's offspring. She goes into hiding during the prequels. Maybe she gave birth. Yadal? Yadal died. Oh, well, in Legends.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, that just doesn't necessarily answer the exact 50-year-old thing, the Camino connection, why they were trying to harvest his material. There's a lot of questions there.
Do you think that Luke and Ahsoka ever crossed paths after events of Return of the Jedi? And if so, what do you think they talked about? I think...
Well, there's that book,
I would
right?
like to think they did.
There's the book with the passage where Luke talks about Ahsoka, so he at least becomes aware of her at some point. But I don't know if they've ever actually met. Does it say so in that book?
It doesn't say if they've met. He just is aware of every single Jedi. But by reading about them through the Jedi texts and archives and things like that. So I don't know if he actually knew her personally.
Yeah.
Like he talks about Mace Windu.
Find out.
You know.
That's true, and he never met that dude.
No.
Or did he?
Or did he, yeah. Possible title for your guys. Oh, yeah, we read that one. Seeing you guys stream together to me is the equivalent of when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles teamed up with the Power Rangers.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, okay.
I assume that's... Yeah.
That's dope. Wait, who's who, though?
Right?
Theo Film, thanks for being a new member, man. All new members get VIP access to the Discord. We should create our own Discord, too.
Nice, dude. Yeah. I've got one. I don't know. I don't go on there enough, but it's pretty active, I think.
You can shout it if you like.
Should I?
We could create our own.
We could.
Yeah.
We definitely could.
Yeah. I think a cool name would be Theories Council or Theories Order. Well, I want to have it inclusive of me and Josh's name. So I like Theories Den or Den of Theories or Nerd Theory, stuff like that. So
I like
we gotta go along something with that. Apparently, the logo of Crimson Dawn appears on the new posters of The Mandalorian.
What?
Really? Oh, hey, Theory, got Sam Witwer's response on the Mandalorian arc. Could I upload it to the Discord, or how do you want me to send it to you? Yeah, upload it to the Discord, man. That'd be cool. But like a video?
From the Discord link into the chat, I think.
Did you tell him I
Apologize.
said hi?
My boomer stat.
Zenith the Overlord, rise, my friends. Rise. Man, my dog hair is making me...
A little itchy.
Oh, yeah, we're going to sneeze or something.
Yo, how was that game? I saw you were playing that remake.
Vertex?
Yeah, I have it.
Mind-blowing.
Mark put me onto it a while ago, but like when I was playing it, they didn't have some of the stuff you had. Like you have a Luke Skywalker skin.
Yeah. They had all the skins. It's
pretty dope.
Yeah, it was cool. They're doing some really great stuff with that game. It's like a cyberpunk, dystopian kind of futuristic game with mods. And
Cool.
the gameplay is very, very akin to JK2.
Yeah, which was fun. I got in there and messed around a little bit. It was pretty cool.
My dumb theory, clones equal Thrawn. Cloning was a huge part of his plan to rebuild the Empire in the OG books. Mando could be a side story running parallel to a new version of the Thrawn trilogy. Interesting. Yeah, with the Filoniverse, I think everything is going to run parallel to each other. What do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's the intention. Is it's not going to be all over. It's going to build out, just like the MCU. Like the whole point of the MCU is that when you see you kind of need to see the one thing to kind of get to the other thing, right? So that's what they want to build. Is they want to build like, and this kind of already happens. Like if you don't watch Clone Wars, you don't have as much of an appreciation for Ahsoka when she pops up in Rebels season 2, right?
Right.
So like you kind of already.
Oh,
need
it was so beautiful when her and Rex.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that clip before, but like going through the actual show and you see that, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Pretty incredible. Yep. So he already has that magical ability to do that, and with just a little guidance from Feige and Favreau, I'm sure he's going to establish a really beautiful series of shows that that all enrich each other and enrich Star Wars as a whole, which is really like that's his superpower.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about what you said last week about how he could tell the stories that he wants through Star Wars characters, which I really love that because that's exactly what he does.
Yep.
In my opinion, he owns Star Wars.
Yep.
Because he just tells, the stories. How they're supposed to be told. My dumb theory, clones equal Thrawn. Cloning, right, we read that one. You skipped my super chat. I think I got it now, Enrique. Probably. Right?
I think so. Trying to see.
Anyways, just got a 33 kill streak in Battlefront and wanted to share the good fortune. Love the channel, man.
Nice.
Congrats, dude. Moth is the new Star Killer? No way.
No, he's not that strong. They'll never do any. I mean, Rey's probably the closest we'll get to Star Killer. Oh, that's perfect reaction. Perfect reaction.
Giancarlo was born April 1958, making him 62. Oh, damn, he looks good.
He looks great for 62. What?
I thought 50. I was like, oh, 50's pushing it maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Mara Jade? Or is she not canon ever?
There was something with Mara Jade. There was something that's with her, but I just don't remember at this point. And it's obviously hasn't substantiated itself. But if we do, it won't be the version from the EU. However, they could take that same model and maybe make even an Apprentice of Gideon's or something like that, right? Because I mean, Mara was such an interesting character, dude, and the fact that like you don't know she's the Emperor's hand for a while is like really cool. So if they did something like that, and that would be cool, but she's never gonna go to kill Luke Skywalker and fall in love with him.
She's
That's
done
not gonna
everything.
happen.
She's been a slave in Jabba's palace. She's been a bounty hunter. She's been a Sith. She's like, what has she not done?
Yeah, I guess been in canon.
What if the child's age development is doubled like the clone troopers? 25-ish years would be around the time Yoda would have visited Kamino and attacked the clones. Oh, damn. Okay, yeah, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see the child being, yeah. I don't see the child having non-accelerated aging. I'm pretty sure he has accelerated aging because otherwise the show is just going to take a huge time jump.
True.
And then all the
Very
characters
true.
would be dead.
That's true. Yeah, that would be kind of weird,
So
right? Season 3,
it's
they're all
got to be a clone
geriatric,
then.
except Baby Yoda.
But then in episode 6, Yoda said, "For 800 years, I've trained the Jedi," which means, and he was almost 900 at that point. So that means within the next 50 years, Baby Yoda is going to be old enough to train Jedi. So maybe he hit some like big accelerated growth spurt.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. They said though that, I mean, the thing that was kind of interesting was when Dr. Pershing said, "I just saved his life" or whatever. Remember where he was like, because he's like, "What did you do to him?" He's like, "He'd be dead by now if it wasn't for me." So what's up with that? You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe they couldn't extract what they wanted from him, and they were gonna kill him. And Dr. Pershing was like, "Oh no, like let me do more tests. I can make it happen," or some crap.
yeah, or he had like a kill switch if he ever like was removed from Camino or something. Maybe like when he gets a certain point
Like
away,
the
like he
slaves on
starts.
Tatooine.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Everyone's always like, "Well, why didn't they take Shmi with? Why didn't Qui-Gon take Shmi?" It's like, well, she would have blown up.
She would have been like The Boys season 2.
Yep. Head would have
Yep.
blown.
Hmm.
Will Disney try Mando their Clone Wars? What? Will Disney try Mando their Clone Wars? Clone Wars helped more fans appreciate the prequels. They might
Yes.
want Mando to do the same with the sequels. Oh, I could see that.
I could see that, but they could do a specific show to do that. I really think, frankly, I just really think the move is to sort of distance. And I know sequel fans maybe don't want to hear that, but I think that kind of is the move for a while. And that's not even to say that couldn't happen eventually, but I think
Do
the
you think they're
priority is
aware?
100% they are. Yeah.
Do you think
They
they're
have to
aware at all?
They have to be. Look, they have better data than you and I have the capability of getting our hands on.
course.
They pay people to get this data. So like I went through one time, I remember in a stream I was trying to explain to people leading up to episode 9. I was trying to explain why and how Star Wars was trending in a negative direction. Like I was like, it's data. If I can pull this up on Google Trends and show you, imagine what Disney knows. So no, they absolutely know. I mean, that's why we saw the shift to Old Republic toys and toys that people actually want to buy. That's why we're seeing the shift in Mandalorian and on Disney Plus. Like, dude, they had the data, they knew what they had to do, but they were in a really tough spot with episode 9. Frankly, they had to finish it. They have to finish the saga. They started. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they knew what was going on. 100%. They have to.
Yeah. They're like,
I bet after Last Jedi they were in a little bit of denial. You know what I mean?
I
think-
definitely saw that, and then I feel like when it came to episode 9, they just really made an effort to backtrack and retcon a lot of the stuff from episode 8.
Yeah.
With a lot of the things they said, a lot of the statements, it was just you don't these weren't cryptic statements, they weren't riddles. These were in your face.
Yep. Mhm.
Luke grabbing the saber, it's being tossed away, and that's a complete reversal of what happened in the last one, and him saying I was wrong to be here. Like it's just the whole movie in itself. And this is why I was so enthralled with the film once I had seen it. I was so happy with how they had changed so many of the things that were canon, and now were completely reversed.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, fixed. That's
Dude,
why I was so happy with it.
Well, I think that's the thing, because even though it sort of fails as a solo film, which even for me, I was sort of in denial about it at first. But one of the things that I kind of said was, look, it almost feels like JJ sacrificed the film itself
He did.
on the altar of putting Star Wars back together.
He did.
Because from a mythological standpoint, and honestly, there's a lot of stuff in the ending that I think is actually really cool. Not the Rey Skywalker stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like, that was whack, and like the Jedi coming back and stuff is kind of whack. But like,
I thought the way Palpatine died was so stupid and just rushed.
yeah, no, I agree. But the idea of her like actually facing the Jedi challenge, the idea of like Ben actually turning, her and Ben, kind of coming together. There's a lot of mythological stuff there that I really like. Because in some ways, like Palpatine he's not just the dark side. He's like a lich. He's an abomination. Like he's not just the dark side. He's actually, because the Force requires both the dark and the light.
Yeah.
But Palpatine was sort of perverse, and he actually wanted there to just be dark side. He wanted to reshape reality. So he's more like a Lich King in the mythological sense, or like a demon. And Ben kind of represents like this more natural side of the dark. And then together, he and Rey coming together, which to me sort of was like the balanced cosmic force, sort of shutting out the cancer, if you will, of the Force.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that works. It's just there were other things that are executed in such a boneheaded way that you just can't help but roll your eyes.
It's very rushed. It just felt like the whole movie, as you said, was putting Star Wars back together. Mm-hmm. So it's like we didn't really get to focus on story much, or what this and that's happening. It was just taking everything like from a list from Episode 8 and just crossing it off.
Yep.
How are we going to fix this, fix that, fix that?
Holdo maneuver. Boom. Gone.
Like, oh, okay, that's a
I mean?
1 in a million shot. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So, okay, it was lucky. Okay. Well, they didn't really explain how Palpatine came back. Well, they kind of did. Like,
sort of
cloning?
2 lines.
Yeah.
Sith magic.
Sith magic,
that,
cloning. It's like, okay. Yeah, all right. A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect.
Yep.
I was wrong to be here. What else?
Chewie got his medal.
Chewie got his medal.
Which is kind of like an old thing that needed cleared up.
Yeah.
Leia and her brother training, I guess, kind of helps fix the Leia scene with her Force abilities, because if she's trained by Luke, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
There's Rey Palpatine in and of itself is the retcon to one of the biggest things, which was Rey No One, and the fact that like this total out of nowhere no person has a connection to the story. So that's a massive retcon. One that a lot of people didn't like. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was really cool, yeah. And then I was like, oh, up until a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, they actually didn't have an outline, didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
But to me, that's still even confusing, because it's like in the book, in the Force Awakens book, Rey is being encouraged to kill Ben.
Yes.
There's a voice.
Yeah.
Who the hell's the voice? Is it Snoke? Well, if it's Snoke, it's Palpatine.
Right. Mm-hmm. Had to be Palps, yeah.
So I don't know. Like, were they toying with the idea and they weren't sure? Or like, what's the dealio?
Yeah,
then we hear
they're probably
Obi-Wan.
toying.
So it's like, okay, then we were toying with the idea of Obi-Wan being the father or whatever. It's like,
yeah, it's
shouldn't
pretty.
you guys have
pretty,
a plan?
Well, plus the clone thing is so whack too. Like the son that was a clone that didn't have Force powers, but then birthed the Force thing like that. They just needed to not.
I hated that, man.
Yeah, they just needed to not do that. Like if she was the legit, because this is the way I would have done it. I just would have been like, yeah, Palpatine got around.
Yeah.
Got around. What do you want me to say? He's the Emperor of the Universe.
Yeah.
He knocked boots.
Yeah.
And somewhere around the line there was a couple Force babies. That's what Thanos did. Like, so there's a storyline in Thanos comes and starts killing all of his bastard children.
Yeah.
And there's one that he had with the Inhumans named Thane. And Thane is like a badass dude. And so like there's all sorts of cool stuff that you could have done with that. But instead they went a really weird way with it.
It's like a clone. He was like a defective clone who just wanted to be a farmer or whatever. Just wanted to live like a normal life.
Mom? Who's the mom
Yeah.
in that situation? Like who? Still so many questions. Like who's the mom? Like what? Yeah. There's a lot of
How'd she
questions.
meet him? Like, wouldn't that child be under extreme surveillance?
Yeah. None of it makes sense. How is he not? Here's what doesn't make sense. How does he lose track of the clone, but then he's able to find Rey? You know what I mean? Like he loses track of the clone, but then he becomes aware
Does
of
he lose
Rey.
track of the clone?
That's what they. Well, yeah, because that he sort of escapes, and then he's having some kind of a normal life, and
fair
that's when he must meet the wife, and then have Rey, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but then somehow he finds out about it, which is why they hide her on Jakku. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yoda and Yaddle be clapping cheeks for centuries. Dude.
man. Can that please be the next animation?
For join members only, I'll do it.
There you go.
For join members only, I will 100% do that. Yeah, but that would just be so wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, I
best way
won't do that. I will never do I don't want to see that. I don't want to pay to have that made.
Right?
Poor Benny. Wild theory, what if Yoda's species can't populate if they're force sensitive? That's why we can't find many of them. So what, they're asexual? And they just pop an egg?
I don't know about all that. I mean, we do see very few of them, but we see Yaddle, and she's obviously force sensitive. She's on the freaking Jedi Council.
She's a she.
Yeah. I don't know. Reminds me of what Gimli says about the dwarf women in the Lord of the Rings. You remember that?
No.
He's like, it's true you don't see many dwarf women, but they're so similar to the dwarf men you wouldn't recognize them. And he's talking about how they have beards and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Oh, jeez, they have beards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll see Barriss Offee in the Ahsoka series? Also, Yaddle was confirmed alive, at least during the events of Fallen Order.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that. She was alive in that game?
I didn't catch that.
All right.
Well, I think there was like a statue or something that looked like her, I believe.
Okay.
But I don't think she was confirmed alive. I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Is there something on Google you can search up real quick?
Yaddle.
Ryan, thank you, bro, for being a new member. Alex says possibility that Mando will be tracking Cal Kestis. Cal would be more known among imps than he's been hunted for a long time. Since he's been hunted for a long time, and he's the only Jedi, I believe, that's been to Ilum after Clone Wars.
This I'm trying to find it here.
If that snow planet is Ilum, then I guess Mando was there, Baby Yoda, and I think that's where. Do you think that's where maybe Ahsoka's chilling?
Could be. It is really curious.
Hiding somewhere, like watching the First
Order.
Order.
Yeah, like what's she doing? Because so when she comes out of the World Between Worlds, so she's literally like on purpose not interfering with what she knows will happen because she doesn't want to change anything. So like she comes back in
because she wasn't supposed to live.
Right. So she gets pulled out 2 years later, right? And then she has a conversation with Ezra. She literally faces the Emperor, right? Well, I shouldn't tell you this. This is spoiler stuff. So she gets pulled out.
I've seen it. I've seen literally all those things, yeah.
So she gets pulled out of World Between Worlds, but then she gets put back. So then for 2 years, we don't see her again until she meets back up with the Rebels crew. So there's a 2-year period where...
Wait, what?
Yeah. She gets put back. So she has to live for 2 years at least, knowing what's going to happen in the universe.
Wait. So hold on. So from what I've seen, so Ezra like plucks her out from the killing blow from Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then what?
And she has a thing that happens. It's it's dope. And then they put her back. She goes right back, and that's why
into the killing blow, or
no, Vader's gone. Whatever time was passing, so between the time that it was like probably 5 or 10 minutes, Vader's gone. So in the episode, which you're about to watch actually, because it's like the end of season 2. So in that episode, you'll see Vader walk away at the end, very damaged.
Yeah, I've seen that. And then Morai is flying above ahead.
Exactly. So literally after Vader leaves, Ahsoka pops back out. And so she has to live for 2 years knowing all this stuff, but she can't do anything because if she affects the timeline, it's going to cause all these problems. And then that event will never happen. You know what I mean? Like a down and down. It's why they couldn't save Kanan, right? But yeah, you'll see all that stuff. But essentially, like I've always been really curious as to like, well, where did she go? Like, what do you do when you come back from the future with all this crazy cosmic knowledge?
She Yodas.
She
stays in a hut and in a swamp and just makes mediocre looking cozy food.
Yep. And then she goes crazy and she wants a flashlight.
Yeah. My home, this is.
Right.
Do you think Barriss Offee will be in the Ahsoka series? Also, Yaddle was confirmed alive, at least during the events of Fallen Order. Wait, did we read that? We read that one. I don't know
And
about
by the way, I just
Beresov.
checked that out. I don't know if that's true. There is a Yoda species that's mentioned. Some people thought it was Yaddle. Here, I'm gonna play it. Let me hear this. So this is with the green pointy-eared legendary Jedi Master, and then they literally ask about Yoda. Oh, he is talking about Yaddle. Wow. Okay,
What? Where was
but I
this?
don't think he.
What scene is that?
Yeah, it must be on a. It must be while you're pulling into a planet. I can send you this link. But the thing is, it doesn't have anything about her still being alive. But Grease apparently wants to get it on with Yaddle. That's kind of what's implied.
Weird. That's cool. I must
Yeah.
have missed it in that 9-hour stream.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually confirms anything, but yeah, she is definitely mentioned in the game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. Thanks, Ryan. Possibility that Mando will be tracking. Oh, right, we read that one. Sarah Leavitt says, keeping the habit from last week by having my second super chat send tons of support to both of you. Thank you so much. Theory, your trailer for Revenge of the Sith emphasized my excitement for Star Wars again, and I miss having that hype. Thank you so much. That was made by Benny Productions, so it's not really my trailer, but he gave me permission to upload it. Yeah, it's really cool having a modernized trailer like that. Some of them are really crappy, some of them are really amazing, and I feel like this one made by Benny was really cool. So, thank you for that. Jennifer says, seriously appreciating you two today and the commentary. I'm very curious over the Pascal departure rumor that's floated around a bit. Any thoughts? Yeah, so we touched on that. I think it was last week or the week before. Apparently, it's all resolved. I don't really know what
sounds like it's all good.
I don't really know if it's legit or like what it's really all about. Basically, he just wanted his face to be seen more, is what the rumors are. But maybe it
Yeah.
was like on the other guy's end, where it was like in the contract that he was supposed to see his face, or I don't know, dude. It's drama to me. I don't.
We don't know for sure. I know that the initial report, I know that it was real, like it did actually happen, and there was a big conflict about it.
Mhm.
But it's hard to say if it was like being overblown when people reported it. I know some people accused Grace of essentially dropping that report when the trailer dropped on purpose, which is fair. Maybe she did do that. You know what I mean? And that kind of sucks if that is the case. But according to a lot of other people and some people that reached out to me, apparently it's all good, but
Yeah.
you never really know.
Yeah, you never know with these things. Who knows? Sasha Banks' robes gave Barris vibes. Shape-shifting tech like Obi-Wan. Could she play a role? Oh, so some people actually increased the brightness of that scene with Sasha Banks, and it seems like there's some weird CGI stuff going on with her hair.
So they may have CGI'd it to look normal, or
I'm gonna try to bring it up.
yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time Disney has changed things in a trailer. You know what I mean?
No, of course not. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, let's check this out. Right.
It's interesting.
You haven't seen this at all?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Huh.
All right, here you guys check it out. So here it is. Apparently, like it just looks kind of strange with the hair. Like you can see that. It's almost like the hair is like coming over the robe, over the hood.
I'm gonna have to wait for the.
This is not even a
stream.
great photo. There was a much better one that was posted, but it just kind of seems like there was maybe some CGI going on there that I'm not really sure. Did they CGI the robe or?
Okay, now I see it. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely possible that she is going to look legitimately like Sabine in the show, and that wow, look at that, huh?
Weird, hey?
Wow. Okay, yeah, so there's probably they probably covered it up, dude. They probably covered it up to make it look like not
Cover the hair
just
color or
clearly
something.
Sabine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good find. Whoever did that,
Yeah.
wow, good for
Yes,
you.
someone emailed me on that, like when the trailer came out, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, weird."
Mm,
Didn't really cover it though,
respect.
but
Yeah.
interesting. Um, Mara Jade was written in the bathroom stall. That's all I've heard. Oh yeah, so that apparently isn't canon because I asked Matt Martin about that on Twitter, um, and apparently like someone just wrote that or something like that, like some fan or something.
Well, Matt Martin has contradicted himself a couple of different times. I really don't know how much Matt Martin actually knows about. No offense to you if you're watching Matt or whatever, but like I just, from what I understand,
think you watch.
yeah. Well, look, I'll just be
Oh,
real with
God.
you. I don't know how much these story group people, like legitimately know what's going on. Like for instance, somebody literally brought up to Matt the whole thing that we were just talking about Ray's dad being a clone, and he legit said that's not true. He was like, "No, that's not true." And if people were like, "Dude, it's literally in the novel," and he was like, "Oh, okay." So,
What? Really?
oh yeah, you can look it up, and there's some other stuff too.
Well, he didn't work on episode 9, did he?
No, he did not. But the idea would be that like somebody in the story group would sort of be an arbiter of the lore. And in all reality, I think the only person that's really like that is Pablo, and Pablo's just like that sweaty. He's just sweaty. He just knows Star Wars like that. So yeah, they don't exactly know everything that's going on.
I feel like there's different sects of the story group.
Well, one of the greatest mysteries over the last couple of years was what happened to Carrie Hart.
Who's that?
Do you know who? So Carrie Hart, she was a big part of the story group at first. She worked on Last Jedi. She's a black woman. You've probably seen her before. She's been on different things. She was at Celebration, et cetera, et cetera. She was quietly removed from the story group, and now she works for Ryan Johnson's company. And that should have been big news.
Why?
Definitely what? Because the way that it was sort of talked about before she left was that Carrie Hart was essentially like the law of the land when it came to the story group. Like she was calling shots, she was making story changes, she was doing all this sort of stuff, and then sort of gets quietly removed after like months after The Last Jedi. And I still to this day can't get a straight answer from people when I ask them.
Do you think maybe they're like, "Oh, it's your fault"?
Absolutely. I mean,
Oh,
look,
okay.
sometimes when things happen, like heads got to roll, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, she was probably just quietly let go of. But a lot of people, she gets hired at Ryan Johnson's company. I mean, come on, like it's pretty clear cut. I think what happened with that.
Yeah, I guess Ryan liked her,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he completely called the shots. I don't think anyone else had power over him at all.
I agree, but I think some people like Akiri and like Kathleen became sort of backers of him because I think there were other people that were pushing back, and I think what happened was there became some people in that regime that just backed Ryan because basically Kathy gives him the nod. She was like totally taken by this guy. Like he
yeah, she was very what's the word?
She was just like hypnotized, dude. Like,
yeah, she's like you're such a great storyteller. You really understand this stuff.
You know
I
what
feel
just
like
popped
that's-
in my head, and it's kind of ridiculous. Have you ever heard of the story of Rasputin? You know about Rasputin?
The Russian.
Yeah. Is Ryan Johnson kind of like a Star Wars version of Rasputin?
Tell me the story again.
So
There's
like
a song.
So basically he's yeah. So basically Rasputin is just this Russian peasant, and the czars had a son that was all like crippled, and he actually had something was wrong with his blood. He had like a blood condition, and so Rasputin was able to like help this kid, and he basically like works his way into the royal family. Literally becomes like royalty just because the czar is like totally he like kind of manipulates them, and just kind of gets in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is Ryan Johnson a little Star Wars Rasputin? I don't know.
Well, no, I mean the story that Mark told me when he interviewed Ryan was that Ryan actually went in to pitch his own spin-off for Star Wars be like, hey, I'd love to, make a Star Wars movie and direct it and write it. And then they just handed him the keys for The Last Jedi.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. He's literally just some guy before this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, he's done some good work. I liked Looper, but like to give him writing and directing on like arguably one of the biggest sequels of all time, like honestly, it's absurd the carte blanche he got. You know what I mean? And here we are again.
Yeah,
Right?
talking about the sequels.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
yeah.
Well, and you know what? I'm not going to be silenced about talking about the sequels just because people want to get their panties in a bunch and they're
Sure.
going to be sensitive about it. Look, I can talk about whatever I want to talk about as long as I'm being cordial and respectful and not being an asshole. So that's there's nothing wrong with that.
As long as you're not comparing Ryan Johnson to Rasputin, you're probably okay.
I don't know much about Rasputin, so
I shouldn't have done that. It's kind of fucked up.
I just know he was in a song or something. That was pretty much it. No, man. Look, I think it kind of speaks for itself when he goes in there and he's like, "Hey, I just want to make a Star Wars spinoff. What do you think about this?" And it's like, "We're actually making The Last Jedi. Here you go. Why don't you do that one?" Sure.
Yep.
Say he would be an idiot to say no. I mean, he's a filmmaker. Sure handed the Star Wars movie and the sequel trilogy of the Skywalker saga. Wow, heck,
Absolutely.
anyone would take that.
I agree. Colin
Anybody.
Trevorrow would have taken it too.
Yeah. I'm pretty upset about it, and I think one reason that they didn't go with his script, from what I've heard, is because of Carrie Fisher's untimely passing, and because she was such a huge part of the script.
Yes.
She was really like the star of that episode.
Yep.
I still argue that they could have worked around that, just like they did with Episode 9. In some sort of way, they could have rewritten a lot of parts. They didn't have to, fire Colin, and they didn't have to completely abolish his script, because I think his script was phenomenal.
Yeah. I
It is
want to
what
go
it is,
back
bro.
in and read more of it because, like, again, like seeing the way you animated it, I was like, damn, okay, like there's some really cool stuff in this script. So I kind of want to go back and read it because my initial take on it was like, I feel as though this is just kind of popping off because the sequel trilogies were so divisive that people are looking at this other thing, which really isn't that great, but it's better than what we got. So people are like elevating it. But there really does seem to be some true love of Star
I
Wars
think
in
it was
there.
amazing. I really do. I mean, we get Coruscant. We get all the planets from the prequels. We get him going back to the Jedi Temple. We get and it's just like freaking Hux even is like a collector of lightsabers, and he kills himself with Mace Windu's lightsaber. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty
all
awesome.
these little things. It just shows there's more care and there's more of an overall understanding of Star Wars, and especially with this Skywalker saga that is supposed to bring them all together.
Yeah.
In this 9th film, it exemplifies that in this script.
Yeah. And he
Um,
tries, and the thing is, too, apparently George liked it.
Really?
Well, because he took it to George. Like, he's talked about this before. And he's
geez.
talked about how, because he said something to the effect of, I didn't get to make the movie, but I got to write a story that poured all of my love of Star Wars into it, and I got to share that story with George Lucas, and that's good enough for me,
Wow.
is basically what he said. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Well, like I said, George Lucas wasn't at the premiere for Episode 8 or Episode 9.
Yep.
That's all I need to say.
Mhm.
There's nothing else I got to say. So,
Mhm.
anyways, Sasha Banks' robes give Barris vibes. They do indeed. Mara Jade was written in the bathroom stall. In Season 1 of The Mando, Quill confirms that the child wasn't a clone or Strandcast. As Quill says, he worked in a gene farm.
Well, I mean, he says he worked in a gene farm, but he also refers to Cara Dune as good stock.
Mhm.
So I don't know that he conclusively says that the child is not a clone. But yeah, I'll look back at it. That's
I
possible.
don't think he confirms that the child wasn't a clone.
Yeah, I definitely don't think so. I feel like that would have been brought up when all of those
100%.
theories came out.
But anyways, what the hell would he know?
Yeah.
Possible Mira took her baby and escaped to the temple.
What baby though? Because it's
Baby
not
Yoda.
Luke's. Ooh, dying. That'd be wild.
Scandalous. Colleen, thank you for being a new member. JT, thank you. X says, as a big old EU, I still love the sequels hella. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to take your enjoyment away from it. You know what I mean?
Nor could
But I
we.
think, yeah, but I think too, it's totally fair to recognize that you're in a minority. I mean, like I can think of some movies like I like Thor: The Dark World. I'm in a minority on that. You know what I mean? I think Age of Ultron is an incredible movie that's really overrated or underrated. I'm
Oh,
in
you
the
liked
minority.
Ultron?
Yeah, exactly. But
I
like,
didn't
so
like
I
it.
can like it and then acknowledge
Yeah.
that I'm in a minority. You know what I'm
Do you
saying?
think sequel fans are in a minority?
100%, dude. And they don't even, I mean, look, I don't really want to necessarily like go hard on it, but they are not only in a minority, they're in a minority that they can't believe is a minority because
Mhm.
of things that are happening with social media, because they're in these bubbles where they're getting reinforced and they think it's a representative of like all these people. And look, I've looked at the data, it just plainly is not. So yeah, they're in a minority for sure.
Yeah. I remember doing a poll on my channel. I think it got on the community tab. This was like months ago. I think it got like 120,000 votes or 200,000 votes or something. Like, which trilogy do you like the most? And the sequel trilogy had it was like sub
13% or
5%
something.
or something, or sub
Wow,
10%.
really?
Yeah,
I mean, that's believable
something
to
like
me.
that. Yeah, and then I got called toxic for being a channel that caters only to the prequels, which is complete bullshit. But
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
whatever. People like to spin their narratives all the time. The new Star Wars book that comes out next week will set the record straight about Snoke.
All right. Cool.
What book?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that the book ended when Ben Solo was just like and just he was gone.
Snoke's story ended when they said he was what was it? Just a bunch of spliced genes put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Mike, which book you talking about, bro? I'm interested to know. Why don't you put it in the Discord? Let me know. Alfredo Nava says in Rogue One there's a list of Empire projects like Project Darksaber, maybe connected. Yes. Yes.
So I think
Yes, I
that
remember that.
I don't know if it was actually called Project Dark Saber. I think it was called Project Black Saber, which is actually not referring to the Dark Saber. It is referring to something from the EU that was actually miniaturized Death Star tech, which I think
Did it
then
say
carries
Black
a-
Saber or it didn't say Dark Saber?
It did not say Dark Saber. I
Ooh.
remember because I remember having this argument before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Black Saber is a code name for a data tape in the Galactic Vault. Yeah, Black
What's
Saber.
the
not
data
Dark
tape?
Saber. Let's see here. Black Saber was first mentioned. Okay, so the canon version they don't have much, but in Legends, I believe it was a base. So it was like a Death Star. But the huts, there was like this hut that had it, I believe.
Okay. A hut. Interesting. Unrelated, but I want to ask you this. Would you be interested in making video games? Yes. I don't know, when you're making films, you know something about narration and directing, and it also applies to creating video games. Yeah, so creating video games is something I'd really love to do. So here's a list of the projects that I'm doing right now. I got a animation coming out regarding what you saw a clip of today that sequel fans got very, very upset about for whatever reason, which they're going to be eating their words when they realize that it's actually a spoof on prequel fans making fun of them, even though I am one, but leave it to sequel fans to be jumping to conclusions as usual and very, very sensitive. Not all of you, but many of you. So I got that animation coming, which is a spoof on prequel fans being invited to a sequel themed party, and they don't know diddly squat about the sequels really all that much. I mean, well, there's one in the group that knows a lot about it, and because he just sees Star Wars as Star Wars, and without getting too into detail, you're gonna see some funny interactions, and it's gonna be a part one. And it's just something I thought of. I thought it would be funny, so I'm making it. And then we got the Duel of the Fates. We got more of the script that we're gonna do. Some cool scenes. Vader cinematic, which I posted a picture of on the community tab for members only. And Vader episode 2 and 3 script is still being written and perfected and tidied up. And I'm looking at all the VFX stuff with my VFX lead right now.
Lots of VFX, I heard.
Tons, yeah. Creating some lo-fi tracks with Samuel Kim for you guys to listen to and vibe to and
I
study
want to
and
bump
chill.
those on my stream and like the intro and stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
they're really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, they're gonna have nice backgrounds, interactive backgrounds, just stuff for you guys to watch. There's tons more coming that I'm not going to talk about yet, but you guys will see. Were you searching something before I interrupted?
I was looking for the Black Saber. I can't find the canon, or rather the Legends version. So.
Oh yeah, and also I want to make a Young Palpatine game for free.
Ooh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Mobile game, console, computer.
Computer, probably. Yeah. Jesus, Enrique, I can't read that. It's too. But I appreciate it. It was something about the Yoda and Yaddle.
Okay, snapping cheeks.
Yeah. If you make one more thing from Legends canon, if you make one thing from Legends canon again. Oh, are you asking what would it be?
I mean, Mara Jade's a pretty nice
I
one.
was gonna say, yeah.
Kind of been talking about her all night. She would be fantastic.
Yeah, let's do Mara. Sure. Polyhedral, thank you so much.
That's good stuff.
JJ hated the prequels?
Yeah, that's the word.
Oh.
GG.
Ahsoka
JJ
says
no-
Rey Kenobi.
I would love Rey Kenobi. Let's see here. See if I can find anything on this. J.J. Abrams has made it quite clear he doesn't like the prequels. He said that he hated midichlorians. He wanted to show Jar Jar dead, and even made the first line of TFA, "This will begin to make things right." That's true. Did you hear about that Jar Jar thing? He was going to put Jar Jar's bones into the sand in some of the scenes in Force Awakens just as a shot at Jar Jar because he hates him that much.
What?
I done told you, bro. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's probably why he had the Hosnian people look like prequel people, and then he just blew them all up. So yeah. Are you going dark side over there? Feeling the anger flow through you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on. Is it bad that I think there are too many Jedi alive? What do you mean? There's like no Jedi alive.
None.
They're dead. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool versus Palpatine, who would win? Josh, you take this one.
Palpatine, easy, dude. Palpatine,
Thank you.
easy.
Big love from Ireland Theory. Big love from Canada Back. Have you checked out the Battlefront 2 modding community lately? Would love to see your stream. See you stream some more of the mods. I haven't lately. No. But they've always done a really fantastic job with the mods there. Profan says, what I mean is if one Yoda family had a kid and was force sensitive and another family the same, they can't reproduce only if they had the force.
Oh, okay. Maybe, but that's not really, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What if pink lightsabers become canon? Thoughts? Cool.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, sure. Theory, did you know that in Season 7, when Rex is looking at the picture in the barracks, that Fives, Echo, Cody, and Rex were in Phase 2 armor, but in the show, Echo never had Phase 2 armor when he died. Oh, interesting.
Well, that's because originally the whole ending was different. So in the animatronics that we saw in 2015 at Anaheim, they're different, and there was something shady going on with Echo, and he was going to stay with the clones and not go with the Bad Batch. That was a retcon from those animatronics.
I like that he went with the Bad Batch. It's cool.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, because
it's
now he's
great
like,
to see him.
he's like a mutant.
Yep.
He's more powerful. Sorry, I missed the. Sorry, I didn't. Bet I confused you. Sorry, man. That confuses me as well. Unpopular opinion: they should have recast Leia. Finishing her story would have been the best tribute to Carrie.
Dude, I agree with that.
They could have had her daughter play, just like they did in Rogue One.
They could have, but Meryl Streep would have done a great Leia too. Meryl Streep's an incredible actress, dude. She would have done it, and you could have actually totally that's the thing.
You would have believed it.
Right? Because dude, I'm sorry, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I get that they wanted to do this thing, and it's has a little sentimental value. Period. It doesn't look good. So I don't think it really honored her all that much, anyway. So I think they should have just had Meryl Streep come in, do Leia's character justice. That's what I would have done.
It would have pulled me out of the story, man. I wouldn't have been able to believe it.
Maybe
it wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah, you just don't know. But would it really have been that much worse than what we got, though?
At least it was her.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But
do you think if they brought her in, then we could have gotten Duel of the Fates?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Meryl Streep is Meryl Streep's an incredible actress. She's literally better than Carrie Fisher. I know, some people might, but dude, it's not even close. Meryl Streep is something like 10 times the actor that Carrie was.
What you're saying is they should have just done the whole Dumbledore thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That to me would have honored the character better than false promises about being able to take this technology and recreate this performance, which just clearly didn't work. Yeah, I would have preferred it that way.
I can appreciate your view. I just think it would have taken me out of it completely.
And you know what? You might be right. It might have just totally just not felt right.
Well, and that's the problem is the performance would have been phenomenal, but I would have just been sitting there and I'd be remembering the whole time that Carrie Fisher isn't here anymore, and it would just take me out of the story.
Yeah.
But it would have told the story better because we would have had her able to do things that were revolving around the script instead of revolving the script around the footage that we had left of our princess. So that's the tough part. Apologies, Rex and Cody had Phase 2, and when Echo died, they had Phase 1 in the picture. Rex was looking at I don't know where your other message went. Spoiler, Snoke's book was cut into 2 chapters.
Wait, what?
What?
Snoke's book?
What do you mean his book?
Yeah, what is this? Snoke's book?
Snoke's book? Is that like a comedy on
9 hours ago from IGN. New Star Wars book clears up mystery about Snoke's origin. Oh, yeah. This is like a...
What is this?
It's like a dictionary kind of book. This is exactly what we were talking about before. This is 100% what we were talking about. That he was made on Exegol, that he was kind of created.
Are you looking at CBR?
I'm on IGN.
Every new force power to what? Kylo Ren killed the leader of the First Order in Star Wars. The Last Jedi before the mysterious rulers. Here, let me bring this up on the screen here.
Yeah, this isn't...
What is this? Is this a book?
It's not a novel. Yeah, it's not a novel, though. It's like a dictionary book or something. I thought it was like a novel.
Oh, what? Snoke? Wait. Hold on. Snoke has free will? Let me see this. The book also notes that Snoke has free will, but his actions and goals are still orchestrated by Sidious. This provides an explanation why Snoke appeared to be operating free of any outside influence. As first shown in Star Wars The Force Awakens, despite the later revelation that he was creation of Palpatine. What?
Yeah.
But
To me, it just
why
muddies it up.
clone? Why go through all that? Didn't he want to like put his transfer his
Have a
essence
body,
into
right.
Snoke?
Yeah.
So he has free will now, so he's his own person? So is he
I don't
just
know.
he's just working under Sidious now? I'm very confused. I don't understand.
Yep. I don't even know what this new book is. I just
This
don't.
book also notes that Snoke has free will, but his actions and goals are still orchestrated by Sidious. This provides an explanation why Snoke appeared to be operating free of any outside influence, as first shown in Star Wars The Force Awakens, despite the later revelation that he was a creation of Palpatine. Snoke was never shown to be a Sith, with the book noting Snoke denies any Sith lineage as an artificial construct. This would be true, but the character did exhibit Force-like powers, including sensing the emotions of others, the ability to move objects, and Force lightning, a power historically known to be used by the Sith. The entry also observes the traditional Sith master-apprentice relationship is bypassed by the way of Snoke's creation, stating Palpatine sidesteps the tradition of a dark side apprentice, slaying his master to ascend. Ironically, this is what actually appeared to happen once Ben killed Snoke in The Last Jedi, but the revelation of Palpatine's resurrection in The Rise of Skywalker undid that notion.
Yeah, this is just too messy. Like,
This is so messy, dude. What the heck does this mean?
yeah, and like Snoke is just, I'm period not interested. Like, after I found out that he was just like a puppet, like my interest completely vanished.
Let
Like,
me read this whole thing here. Okay.
Yeah.
The book, appropriately titled The Star Wars Book, contains an entry on Snoke sharing new information on the character's origin and background. The authors describe Snoke as a part of an artificial species known as a genetic strandcast, concocted by the resurrected Darth Sidious to be his proxy in power. Right, but wasn't he concocted to be his vessel?
Well, it kind of seems like he was trying to clone himself to be his vessel, right? Because that's what Rey's father was. Rey's father was a failed clone because it lived, but it didn't have any force sensitivity.
Dude, like, can we get some napkins to like clean this up? Like, what is this?
Yeah, and I don't understand why like Star Wars book, like what? What? Why do they keep? They just need to leave it alone. Like, there's no reason for them to be like going in there and continuing to try to explain it. You know, it feels like somebody that's just like, oh no, you don't get it, and like
The
they
Rise of
just-
Skywalker opens with Ben locating the Sith Wayfinder, which allows him to journey to the Sith world of Exegol in search of the source of the mysterious voices in his mind that still plague him. Despite killing Snoke, once there, Ren discovers a vat filled with cloned bodies of Snoke, allowing that the villain was in fact a manufactured entity, as Palpatine claims. Right. The book also notes Snoke has free will, but his actions and goals are orchestrated by Sidious.
That seems like a
I'm very
oxymoron.
what? Like,
That's like an oxymoron. That's like he's got free will, but he's basically just going to do everything.
this is I'm
Palpatine's
getting some like Dragon Ball Z Bobbity vibes, Vegeta like
It's funny. I actually did talk about that leading up to Rise. I was like, wouldn't that be so cool if like the Force energy, you know what I mean, from Ben and Rey and the coming back was gonna fuel Palpatine's return. Like I literally talked about that. I was like, just like Bobbity.
Well,
that'd
you
be
know what?
crazy.
This leaker told me, dude, the most bizarre thing, I mentioned it in a few streams ago, was regarding his name, which I'm not going to mention. He doesn't even have a name. Anyways, you go to his website, and it's literally just a landing page with a symbol, an image of the animal that his handle was. So if it's a gopher, it's, welcome to the gopher, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If it's a snake, it's a snake. And it was it. There was no other link. There was no other nothing. It was just, that was it. I was like, what the hell is this? Why would you be paying for a domain of this? Like, it makes no sense. And he said, and I think that maybe this is, just someone from Disney that was like leaking things to people to see the fan interaction and engagement, before The Last Jedi would come out. He said that Snoke was an ancient being that was resurrected during Order 66 when all of the energy of the dead Jedi went into the air, and he absorbed that energy, and like a vampire came to life.
That would have been so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like a Darth Nihilus kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like just
he was sleeping for thousands of years, and he felt this energy, and all of a sudden was able to absorb it.
That would have been amazing. I also thought there was a really cool theory about how he could have been a fallen will.
Oh, right. Yeah, that would have been really cool, too.
That would have been so cool. Like, literally, that's the story of Satan, right? The fallen angel, right? The fallen will.
Yeah.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah.
It would have tied into George's stuff, too.
Yeah. Interesting. What was this book called? The Star Wars book by Cole Horton, Pablo Hidalgo, and Dan Zer goes on sale October 20th. Well, I'm going to have to order that one. Let's see here. Amazon. The Star Wars book. Why is it called the Star Wars book? Interesting.
I don't know.
Expand your knowledge of a galaxy far, far away. Is that what this is?
That's what they say, yeah.
October 20th, yeah. Pre-order. Boom.
It's pretty wild.
Wait. I also want the Kindle.
I wonder if there's any juicy stuff in there for Mando, because Mando comes out 10 days later. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Maybe.
There's like some spoilers in there.
Yeah, just ordered it. Cool. Cool.
Cool.
I don't need the physical copy. That's all right.
Yeah, I might just check out what people say on Reddit about it. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I got it now, so I'm gonna be making videos on the 20th.
There you go.
So, yeah, interesting. Well, okay. Thanks, Mike, for letting me know about that book. I didn't even know about it.
100%. It's kind of.
Does Pablo have you blocked on Twitter?
I don't think so. Let me check.
I don't think he has me blocked, but it's like this person's tweets are private or something like that. So, did he block everyone?
He might have.
I've never even talked to him.
Yeah.
I've never. Pablo Hidalgo? Oh yeah, it's locked. These tweets are protected. Only confirmed followers.
Yeah, he probably just over it, dude. Because the thing that was crazy about Pablo is he used to try to answer a ton of people and actually give them like kind of cool information. That's sort of like where he.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, man.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
that was a
sweet.
good
This guy's
phase.
actually like giving out sweet information. This is cool. Kind of like Matt Martin does.
Yeah, and then he clamped it down. So.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm blocked? Like, what did I do? I've never even talked to him. I just. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
What
Locking it down.
What can you do, man? Yeah, fair enough. Let's wrap it up here.
Sounds good. Mandalorian hype, more hype on the way. If there's like a trailer and stuff, we'll obviously talk about that next week. And there's plenty. There's gonna be plenty of Star Wars stuff to be talking about in the next couple weeks and months.
Yeah, indeed. Yo, Master Stevo, what up, man? You Master Theory, you the man. Who you got winning this fight? Qui-Gon, Yoda, Anakin versus Palp Small. The count. Palps.
So wait, it's Palps and Maul versus who?
No.
Yoda.
It is. Oh, Qui-Gon, Yoda, Anakin versus Palp Small. The count. I would
if you throw
say,
Anakin in there, it's over.
Yeah. Well,
in his prime.
Yoda and Anakin at once?
That's too tough.
Yeah, it's too much. But I mean, Sidious Did beat all of them pretty much. Would you want to see a movie about the First Order, about the first Force user or the Jedi? Yeah, absolutely. I think more stuff about Jedi would be cool. I would consider myself a sequel fan, and I'm so excited to see your animation. I can't understand why some sequel fans would jump to conclusions because you said because you said we're in a minority. However, I couldn't be more excited. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys are in a minority. The way I see it on social media is seems like the sequel dislikers are in the minority.
Really?
Dude, anytime you mention anything about the sequels, there's just like a pack of wolves come at you, and they're just like very angry, very defensive, and it's like, dude, I cannot like it. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not saying you suck. I'm just saying I don't like it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a little bit kind of unique to your experience, just because you are who you are, and you have this big following, and it kind of becomes a lightning rod for it. Yeah, I don't know. I really think that that it is the minority, but it's hard to say per se. I think that's part of the difficult thing. Here's my honest opinion, man. I think that around the time of The Last Jedi, it was actually a little bit closer, where it was like. Believe it or not, it was actually a little bit closer where there was still a lot of sequel fans, and I think Episode 9 really broke a lot of people. I mean, it is literally the lowest rated Star Wars by Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of Reylos absolutely hated it. A lot of people like you and me kind of took the rose-colored glasses off, and were like, ooh,
wait, Reylo fans hated Episode 9?
Absolutely, they did, yeah.
Why?
Because they killed Ben.
Oh.
And because it's in their opinion, it's kind of trash. So they love.
I could roll with them with that. Yeah, I don't think Ben should have died.
Yeah.
Reylo's like, got you, bro. I'm a Reylo now. Does that make me a Reylo?
Maybe.
Because I didn't want Ben to die?
I mean, sure.
What is a Reylo?
I didn't. Reylo is someone who ships Rey and Ben together. But
that they're.
But that fandom is like.
They're like hot for each other? Or?
Oh, absolutely.
That's all Reylos are?
Well, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I've been educated by Reylos in the past. I at one time considered myself a Reylo because I thought it was cool and hot. And there was if you've ever seen those Vincent Vendetta videos, like there was actually some really compelling mythological stuff that was going on there. But then, honestly, like a lot of fandoms, it got just out of control. People got over defensive. There's a lot of gatekeeping. I remember I did the theory about Rey having a child in Episode 9 and the possibility of like a forced birth, and I got like destroyed. All these Reylos like came for me because like that's like Rey didn't choose that, you know what I mean, whatever. And yeah, so I think like a lot of communities, a few bad apples.
What do you mean Rey didn't choose that? What do you mean?
Like, so if she were to have a child sort of put into her in the
like
same
Shmi.
way. Correct. Yes. But that is not optically what some people would want for that character, and so they took issue with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They took serious issue with it, I think is what I should say. But
I don't see the problem.
Look,
that's how Shmi. I think Shmi's a great character. What's wrong with Shmi?
Well, Shmi didn't choose it either, right? Which to me, and I would always argue with people, I'd be like, optics doesn't exist in mythological storytelling. Zeus ate all his children, or his father ate all the children. Like we're not actually talking about people here. These are fictional characters.
They're fake.
Right, exactly. But some people were like, how could they do that? How could they do that to a female character? Give her a child that she didn't ask for, turn Rey into a walking womb, etc., etc. To me, it's a lot of
I see now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Yeah. No, that's not. I don't think that. I don't see it like that.
Yeah, I don't either. But people are allowed. I mean, it's cool. Like, if that's something you'd be really upset about, like, who am I to tell you you're crazy?
Like seeing her as like an object.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But like to me, the thing is like stories and characters go through all sorts of stuff that they don't choose.
I don't
like,
see it like
Luke
that. If she is the one to give birth to a force sensitive being that is going to be the next chosen one, like Anakin Skywalker was, which is what Star Wars is all about.
Yeah.
What's derogatory with that?
There's nothing derogatory for it. In fact, it's a miracle. birth and motherhood is a miracle. It's a beautiful part of family. It's a beautiful part of our species. It's a beautiful part of our mythology. But there are certain people that just have different ideas about that.
I mean, if the Force, if that's her destiny, then that's if the writers were to write that, which I've seen rumors
right.
of her having a kid in Episode 9, to follow suit with Shmi Skywalker,
Yeah.
then that's the way they write it. I mean, I'm not happy with the way they wrote Luke, but they did.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you.
I
that's
kick
when,
and
like,
scream
me
as
and the
much as I
Raylos-
want, but it doesn't change anything.
Right. Me and the Raylos went a different way after that, though, where I was like, I got all the crazy coming at me,
Oh,
and I was like, okay, I'm out.
Oh, I wasn't aware you had this relationship with them.
Yeah. We don't have to really talk about it, but yeah, no, it was a thing at one point for sure.
Fair enough. Well,
Hey, it's all love now, though.
that's good. Anyway, so my question is, does that make me a Raylo if I want Ben to be alive? Because I don't
Do you
really
want-
I don't understand what is a Raylo. Is
Do you
just
want Ray and Ben to have a romantic relationship?
if it fits the story, sure, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you'd be a Raylo then. A Raylo is someone that's like really wants them to have a romantic relationship. Like really wants them
I
to.
think it would be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be dope. Yeah, especially in the Last Jedi when he extended his hand to her. I think that would have been
Oh,
sweet.
it would have been great if
Yeah.
she took that hand.
And they
Yeah,
became
my-
like Emperor and Empress. Like that would have been badass.
Absolutely. And my thing was there was something cool about this dark side figure being drawn to this light side beacon. It reminded me a lot of Bastila Revan, to be honest. I was
Mhm.
like, this feels like Bastila Revan.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of parallels between that. There was this big theory that they were a reverse of Anakin and Padme, which is kind of interesting. And so, yeah, there's been some really cool, and some of the women and men that were Raylos did some really interesting, like journals and blogs about mythology and different tropes. You know, there was like the death and the maiden trope. There's all this like Greek stuff. There's some really interesting stuff that was done in that community. But unfortunately, a few bad eggs kind of ruined the bunch on social media. Some of them are just really ridiculous.
There's a lot of bad eggs everywhere. You know, prequel fans, sequel fans, original fans.
Yep. Yep.
Just like humans, there's just bad people everywhere, but there's also really good people everywhere. So it's you know,
And then there's good people that have bad days, and then they seem like bad
absolutely.
people.
There's unstable people. There's people with negative thoughts. There's people. Humans
Yep.
as we are. I'd consider myself a sequel fan. Oh, right, we read that. Thank you. Matt says, "Hey, Star Wars Theory. My wife and I watch your videos. Thank you for all your content. Please give a shout out to Jen and Matt. Yeah, shout out to Jen and Matt. Thanks for watching the content. 15 years since Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan show is almost here. Unreal. Right. I think it's going to come out in 2022 after Celebration.
Dude, that'd be great.
Yeah, because then
That'd
they'd have a
be great.
panel on it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Almost done here. Oh, no, I lied. I scrolled down and how far back do you think Maul knew Anakin was the key to everything, possibly during the Anakin drop scene way back in The Phantom Menace?
No, he discovers it at the end of Clone Wars. That's the whole thing when he realizes the plan.
He doesn't even know. Corey says, "Hey guys, great stuff. Let's talk about Kyle Katarn. He's one of my favorite Legends EU characters. Would you love to see what would you love to see made with him? A
be
revamped
great.
JK2.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be great, dude. He is essentially what Finn was, kind of, but then they went a weird way with Finn. But essentially, Finn is a Kyle Katarn character.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, to see Kyle actually, you know, a little bit more like the Kyle we know would be great. That would be awesome. Reminds me of Dash Rendar, too. I really like that character. That would be a great character.
Dash.
You know, like Dash, dude, the Outrider's such a cool ship. Oh, my God. Love me some Dash.
Been catching up on Vader comic series you did 3 years ago. Would be awesome to see Vaderverse Master and Fila in charge of the past. Appreciate all. Yeah, we might have a character that looks like him. We'll see. I wish I could just like show the script to you guys because it's pretty cool. I like it so far a lot, and I'm pretty skeptical on my own work. I'm pretty cynical, so for me to be happy about this it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, been getting a lot of feedback from people that I'm working with on it, and Yeah, it's cool. I gotta send it to you.
Yeah, man, I would love to check it out
Gotta
for
have you
sure.
sign that NDA and
Yep,
send it
bada boom,
over.
bada bing.
Yep. It's episode 2 and 3 in this one. So
Whoa,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, start to
cool.
finish. Yeah, yeah. Do Sabrina and Ezra view each other as just friends?
Nah, dude, they love each other, 100%.
Durga the Hutt had Darksaber's super weapon, Legends.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yep.
You guys are awesome. I love The Last Jedi, but Episode 9 served no one. Trevorrow's 9 would have been interesting, but Rise of Skywalker was the worst Star Wars movie, making the sequels the worst trilogy.
Unfortunately, a lot of people feel that way, and
Dude, and John loved The Last Jedi, and he's here. Thank you, John.
100%.
Appreciate it, man. It's a good Snoke explanation. EU took decades to give Palps a clear backstory. He's a failed clone like Rey's dad, but still obeyed Palps' orders. Yeah, it's kind of weird, dude. I
I
don't.
just don't like it. I just don't like it. Like it feels so like
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, it's like it
Why do
feels
you have to explain it
Weasley.
now?
Yeah, nope, dude, they definitely don't.
It's like you make a movie, you take our opinion of this character over here, then the next one you take it here, and then you kill him. So then you just take it to nowhere. But then in the ninth one, then you take it over here again. And then now in this book, you're taking it somewhere else. Where it's like, okay, we established he is a clone that Palpatine was going to put his vessel into or control or something. But now he has free will. But yet he still does the orders. It's like, well, I don't know. Is he Lobot? Like, I don't. Like, what is
They're
it?
basically just trying that literally just feels like a patchwork retcon that
Yeah.
is meant to explain possible confusing points. That's it.
Yeah, tell me about the ring, dude. I want to know more about that ring.
Yeah.
It would be nice for Filoni to fulfill his promise to continue Barris' story by having her in The Mandalorian. Yeah, what the hell happened to her?
Barris?
She's just in jail? Could you consider animating the scene from Ahsoka novel where she kills the sixth brother? Not enough people know of the novel, love the channel, and I'd love to do that, actually. It'd be really cool. Yeah. I will do that. I will do that, just for you, Dixie. I want Ben alive and not dating Rey. That's the diff.
Heard that. Heard that.
I love the name. Ahsoka Skywalker. Screw Rey. That's the name. Rey killed Palps. Isn't that exactly what Palps wanted? Is Rey's story truly over? Right, and that's what I always argue too, is that she did kill him. So what, just because she didn't use a blade, like, does that make any difference?
Yeah, are we really led to believe that? Yeah. I mean, and besides, I mean, like even if that didn't happen, like Palpatine could have just squirmed away in another body and another contingency, you know, it could go on forever. But yeah, look, I want them to do more with Rey, but I think she should just be a mentor character, you know? Like just have her mentor some new Jedi or something, or come in later on. I think a little distance will do.
Mentor
us all.
what? She's never trained.
Well, I mean, she technically was a student of Skywalker. She studied the Last Jedi text. She was trained by Leia, I guess, and she is technically the blood of the
Palpatine.
most powerful Sith that ever lived. Yeah, so there's some stuff she could teach probably.
Yeah, I suppose. Alex says, do you think the Obi-Wan series will take place 16 or 17 years after Revenge of the Sith? Or will it be like... No, so it's going to take place... Someone said 8?
Yeah, 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 years after Episode 3. Or do you think it'll be like The Witcher, sharing important events during the exile? I think first could be perfect. 16 or 17 years is too far. It's too different of a Kenobi than we know. So
Yeah.
I think 7-8 years is even too long.
You know what? Yeah. I agree with you. I don't know. They could do some Witcher stuff with flashbacks for sure. Because the Clone Wars stuff, I think, is clearly going to be a flashback.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he's just having like bad dreams. Like one of the things I'm really interested in is seeing Ewan's performance of Obi-Wan at that time, really just mourning. I mean, he's going to be mourning Anakin.
Yeah, he's going to be messed up.
Yeah, he's going to be so messed up, and that's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah. I want to see some nightmare dreams. Mm-hmm. Excited for hopeful future novel animations. Would love to see you two with Mark and call it a rule of nerd theory.
That's
Theory.
not bad.
Do you think Vader's genitals survived the burns from Vader's defeat on Mustafar?
Nah, that's why he's so mad.
The Dark Empire trilogy books would have explained the clones better if they went with the route and left Rey out of the story.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that.
You the man. Thanks, Dixie. I'm going to love bringing that to life from the novel. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time today. This was the longest podcast I've ever done on the channel.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Breaking records
we
over
covered
here.
a ton of stuff. That's the thing with these podcasts. You never know where we're going to lead to. We covered a whole bunch of new stuff, especially with this Snoke book that's coming out at the end here. So thank you for tuning in. All of you, we kept over 2,000 live viewers. 2,500, I think, was like the top. And that's pretty awesome just for two nerds talking.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
I
love it.
Yeah, we're going to be turning these into Spotify episodes as well eventually. I actually have a meeting tomorrow with the company that had my podcasts on Spotify. Not podcasts, we're turning all of my videos into podcast episodes on Spotify. So that will be coming back to you guys because I know a lot of you with late night shifts enjoy that. So stay tuned for that. We're going to turn this one into a podcast episode as well, and tons more to come. Make sure you subscribe to Josh at the Den of Nerds and to me if you're not already. Josh?
It's been a pleasure, my friend. And Rahul, follow Theory back.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to beg you. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Later, everyone. Love you. May the Force be with you.
Always.